Roll call. Chair, Ms. Andronika Morris.
Present.
Member, Ms. Giselle Johnson-Banks. Ad hoc member, Mr. Edgar Chase IV.
Present.
We do not currently have a quorum, excuse me.
So we're going to move forward with this meeting for information only, and we're not going to take up any items that the body would have to vote on. So that means we're going to skip to the item where we just do a review of the program and get the report, accept the report from staff, or hear the report from staff, I should say, on our programs. So turning it over to you, Damon, or someone else. I'll turn you to you, Damon, and you could turn it over to somebody else.
Thank you. Yeah, and I'm going to turn it right over to Kelly.
Good afternoon. Attached on the screen, you'll see the programs committee dashboard. There was minimal activity on all programs, so there was not a lot of shift in demographics. You will see for the community support fund, we did award $500 in May, which was a pending rental assistance. You'll see the 51,200 that has been paid with 48.7 remaining. We also had discussion of reallocation of $3,500 at our last board meeting, with the hopes the resolution will be distributed to everyone later in this week. There were other demographics in the program report for community support had minimal change. Also, since the last meeting, which was approximately about 2 weeks ago, I reviewed the original resolution and our internal guidelines. Neither were specific of and or designating that we should have or should not have been offering both to potential customers. Our internal process was to offer one or the other to provide more to the community as a whole to touch a larger audience. Since our last meeting, we have continued to receive demand for rental. I do see the need coming from the community, with 14 rental being requested just in June and 5 utilities. However, we are now focusing on shifting over to advertising with dependent partners, in addition to reaching out to our approved rental assistant customers already to promote the remaining utility funds that are available. We do have a draft of communications that will be sent out, and we will be finalizing that this week.
Great.
I'm sorry?
No, it just said great.
Oh, okay, thanks. Again, on New Orleans program, minimal activity. We had one origination of 150,000. So the demographics, there was no shifting on the demographics for that program. On page 6 is our sustainable developer pipeline. There were some enhancements to the dashboard based on previous requests. So page 6 is information from our total pipeline. Again, we had 53 projects with 15 active. The demographics have not shifted on that, and we still continue to show metrics for districts and construction types. On the next page, we have active application pipeline, which are the new additions. It may be difficult to see on this, but we have color-coded the statuses, so it's easy to read and eyes view. We've also added graphs for our districts for total pipeline, in addition to active projects and the affordability. This continues to evolve. As you know, we still have 2 or 3 pending requests that we are diligently working on for the next meeting. This is a live fluid enhancement report. We want to be sure we meet the needs of both the committee and the board. So these are some of the requests we were able to fulfill. And on the next meeting, we should be able to provide with a few additions. Some were estimated closing dates, just something we don't currently capture that we are backfilling right now. During the process, it's just difficult to get your hands around that. So that's something that will be added. in addition to progress of construction. So we're working on a visual view of the construction's progress, so you can have an idea of where they stand throughout the process. And adding some affordability columns that were requested, which was data that we just currently did not capture that we're backfilling at that time. And that's the three, once again, that's the three remaining requests and should be satisfied by the next meeting. So again, this continues to grow, and we will continue to meet the needs as requested if any additional requirements are requested.
That's great, Kelly. Damon, this is great. But I feel the need to make sure that we're clear about this, since this is the board's dashboard. Rather than spending time on graphics for things that we did not ask y'all to do and not getting us the information that we did ask you for, we really need to be focused on that. And if that remains in, the graphics are great at a glance, but if this remains a chart that has all of the information that the board has been asking for quite some time, that we're fine with that. But that's where this has got to get headed. This has got to get headed to the place where we are getting the data and we're able to see and get the questions answered that we have about this. And I want to make sure that I understand that some of this stuff is things that need to be backfilled, but some of it are things that you've had. For example, one of the things that we have asked about is the name of the developer. That is certainly something that you would have. That's still not on here. And so this is, you know, this is becoming a bit frustrating because some of these requests are simple and have not been addressed. And instead we're focusing on graphics for things that we need to see by graphics, the city council. That's not something that's fine, but it's not more of a priority than a column being added with the names of the developers, which is certainly something y'all have.
I understand.
I fully understand. To be honest, I thought we added the columns. The actual pipeline Excel is consisting of about 15 to 18 columns. I'm pretty confident we added developer, and that just could have been an error on my part that it just did not cut and paste over. But I will look into that today and ensure that we come up with a way to show as many columns as we can. It's going to get difficult to read as we make this much smaller, so we may cut it and put it on multiple pages to include all the columns. But we did add 2 to 3 new columns on there.
And I think, like I said, for the presentation for the public and for these for the YouTube sessions and for these meetings, I think the graphics are helpful for that. If the body could get the Excel spreadsheet, I think that would be helpful.
We can attach the Excel.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll make that Excel part of the board package going forward. And that way you can see all of the information that that Kelly mentioned. But the other information that we don't have, we're still working on that. We're going to get it. It's, you know, it is a priority for us. So we'll get it done.
Great. Good. Great. Thank you, guys.
Any other questions? Andrea, I'll be sure to include that for the distribution.
Thank you so much. I think we're good. So I think that's the last item on the agenda that we can discuss today. I mean, we don't actually have anything else we needed to vote on. Unless there's some objections, I will call for this meeting to be adjourned, and thanking everybody for being here today. All right, meeting's adjourned. We can't vote on that either, so we're just going to end it. Thanks, guys.
Have a good day. Thank you.